What's up, guys? It's Jay, more than After Kill, and I'm here on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. What the fuck? Really, Morton? You're putting up a COD video. After all the shit you talked about COD, well, let's get some things straight. Number one, I did enjoy Modern Warfare 2. It was one of the first games that I played on Xbox 360. And I know you guys are going to be like, Norton, that's pretty fucking late in the Xbox 360. Yeah, we'll talk about that another day. But I did enjoy Black Ops 1 before they fucked it up with one of the patches in January, which I didn't really enjoy it after that because I got a lot of lag compensation. You guys know that word, right? Yeah, I was actually a victim of that, and I didn't enjoy it. So I gave Call of Duty its shot with Modern Warfare 3 because I realized they do have double developers every other year. They have Infinity Ward and they have Treyarch. So I gave Modern Warfare 3 a shot to give Infinity Ward their fair shot, and I didn't like it. So I didn't play it. And I realized, I was like, you know what? I did enjoy Black Ops 1. Let's see if Treyarch can improve on Modern Warfare 3. And I believe they have. I believe they did a pretty decent job in this game. But we'll get into that in a minute. Right now I'm playing on this map. It's called Overflow. Kind of sounds like a period, right? It's like a, hey, I got the heavy flow today. No, I got the overflow. Watch out. Boom! Look at that. Headshot. So, anyway. Let's talk about what I'm using right now. I'm using a pump action shotgun. And a lot of people are like, well, I didn't know that was in the goddamn game because all you see is submachine guns. That's right. But you know what? If I can kill you and grab your submachine gun and have a shotgun on my back, I'm twice as dangerous. Because like I said, I started out with Modern Warfare 2, and that's pretty much what I'm comfortable with is a submachine gun and a shotgun on my back. Specifically that pump action shotgun. That shit is awesome. And I'm using that with the long barrel and the laser pointer. And the long barrel acts like range for Modern Warfare 3. I didn't really get into Modern Warfare 3, but those of you guys that are familiar with COD know exactly what I'm talking about. And the laser pointer acts like steady aim, so it's like a free perk for having an attachment on your gun. Not a bad thing to fill up in your Class 2.0, I guess it's called, where you pick 10 things to fill up your class with. I don't know, I'm not really like too into that. I just set up my class like pretty much normal. The secondaries I found are pretty worthless, so I do like to steal an extra, stun grenade or something like that in there, which is actually kind of flexible, kind of variable. So yeah, we're playing Domination right now, and I'm stuck in this little room. But I found out that the key to this map in Domination is this fucking room. So I don't know why I was trying to leave. I was trying to get the hell out of there so I could go over to C, because they just capped A, and I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. But you know what? Shit happens, and sometimes you just can't get out of the area. But I want to talk about this game. I know a lot of people have been reviewing this game, and they're giving their first impressions of the game. I don't want to do that, really. I want to see how this game stands alone on its own merits. And I know what you guys are going to be thinking, like, Morton, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, everybody that's been reviewing this game has been comparing it to, like, Battlefield. They compare it to, like, Halo 4. They've been comparing it to the last past Call of Duties and shit. And I get it. You want to see how it stacks up against the other games. But what I wanted to see is how this game holds up to itself. So let's just review this. Not as a Call of Duty game, not as a first-person shooter. Let's just review this and take a look at this game as a game in general and not a Call of Duty game. So let's take a look at the graphics. Alright, so the graphics aren't like up to today's standards. They're not the greatest graphics that you're going to find out there. But they're above average for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. I'm not going to say console because console has some really good looking games out there. So it is above average for this generation. But up to today's standards, it feels like it's lacking a little bit in the texture area. Some of the lighting just looks kind of bad in some areas. But we're not going to trash the game for its graphics. So, like I said, it's above average for what it's at in this console generation, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. So let's take a look at the single player, because nobody ever talks about the single player in these games. So you have two options for single player offline play, and one of them is zombies, and the other one is campaign. And the campaign, in my opinion, has a decent storyline. Too many flashbacks, though. Too many flashbacks, kind of rested on that whole, laurels where it's just, we're gonna go back in time, come here, show a little bit, go back in time, come here, show a little bit. It's a little bit gimmicky. I'm not gonna lie. So, It's decent. It's about average for a game that comes out today that's more focused on multiplayer. So it doesn't feel like a tack on because it's actually a sequel to the original story. But it's not very inspired, I'll tell you that. So one thing I do want to get into is the game menus, because a lot of people don't really look at this, but the fluidity of a game menu can really affect how a game plays for me. So I feel like the menus in this game are a little bit clunky. You gotta go scrolling a little bit through, especially like finding combat record, the emblem editor. They could have just laid it out a little bit better, and especially when setting up your class in between matches. It's just it's a lot of things to go through, and there's a lot of buttons to press, and if you want to remove something real quick, add something real quick, it doesn't have quite a good menu layout for quick and fast class changes in between matches. So that is definitely a negative in my opinion. And when a game that relies on setting up your classes with customizable classes such as this, you really want to be able to switch your classes in between matches, into matchmaking. I don't want a longer lobby. All I want is faster menus. So let's get into the meat and bones of this game, because everybody that purchased this game has one thing on their mind: multi-motherfucking player. So let's talk about the multiplayer. The maps in the game. I'm appreciating the colors. The colors are great. Especially, I don't want to compare it to Call of Duty, like I said, but for a Call of Duty game, I like to see the absence of gray, because I'm tired of seeing gray in a lot of these games, color palette schemes, and to see all the different colors that are in this game, it's a lot easier for map navigation too, because, you know, say, you know, you got killed by a red building. Next time you're in that area, you're like, red building, I got killed around here. I can actually, you know, pick up landmarks from that now and find my way around the map with the color. Before it was like, hey, I got killed. Where'd you get killed? Gray building. Which fucking gray building? What gray building are you dying from? Because every fucking building in this game is gray. Exactly. So, yeah, the maps aren't bad, though. That you can tell that they're designed for tactical gameplay, but what it really ends up doing is just slowing the game down and giving people a reason to kind of camp, which is not a good thing for a first-person shooter online, because a lot of people like to camp. It does slow down the pace of a game. It does make it a little bit slower for people to play, and matches typically get drawn out a little bit longer than they used to. So it's not a bad thing in general, because it can make more tactical gameplay, and it can make the game just a little bit more strategical. So some people that don't have the you know, quick reflexes and twitch trigger that these type of games require, they can use map navigation and use a little bit of smarter tactics to try to gain an advantage on somebody that's playing a little bit more bold, a little bit more brash, a little bit more aggressively, and turn the tables on them without having to have quick snap reactions, which is actually a good thing, because it does even things out for us older gamers. Like, I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm 50, 60 years old. No, but I do have slower reactions than I used to. It's just a fact of getting older. So being able to actually, you know, slow down the game for myself and play it at a pace that I can play at and play aggressively if I want to, you can choose to do all those things. So it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's not the greatest thing in the world, especially when the game's populated by such a young crowd. But going back to the map design, I do want to say one thing. Has anybody noticed that one boat map that's on a yacht is pretty much a rehash of Nuketown? Yeah, exactly. So let's kind of wrap this up here. Black Ops 2, when looking at it as a game on a standalone whole, it's a decent storyline. It's washed up in a lot of flashbacks. Nothing really totally inspired about the storyline. It has more offline playable modes than your average games out now, so that's definitely a plus, especially for people that don't have online capabilities, especially when you're out and about. The game has a decent amount of playlists. It has community-inspired games, as well as some of the older classics, so you'll feel right at home with them. It has above-average graphics for this console generation, but by today's standards, is still lacking comparable to some of the games that have been coming out. It's still too early to tell if this is a good online multiplayer game, because the game just came out, the servers are still brand new, and there's plenty of time for them to fuck it up. So, These games are usually always pretty decent until some of the newer players get in there and the laggier connections come in, and then you see exactly what the game's made of. So as a regular game, just coming out on the market without a Call of Duty label, I would give this game probably about an average score, about like 7.5, which isn't bad, and it still remains to be seen how good the online multiplayer actually is. So, my name is Jay, more than After Kill. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe, and this was just my opinions on the new Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to see you guys later.
RCXD inbound. Losing B. UAV awaiting orders.
Dropped him! He's done!
Job done.